Hello, family and friends. It's been a while since I've done a YouTube video. Though this video will be a bit different today, I'm just going to narrate what I wish to explain while you get to watch beautiful footage of what I captured in Japan. So, I'm going to talk about the vaccine, which is very controversial and people are very divided about the situation. But I'm going to start off about myself. When I was in high school, 10 years ago, I was very anti vaccine. I used to watch these conspiracy theory videos and pretty much thought I had all the answers. Until I went to college, where I took biology class and critical thinking class and realized that I didn't have all the answers. I was definitely wrong, and I learned through research papers and research articles, peer reviewed research, that vaccines actually work. And to pretty much sum it all up, if you gather evidence, you do research, etc., yeah, that's how you prove vaccines work. It's not overnight. Except with this vaccine, because situations that I could talk about in another video. Anyway, vaccines actually do more good than bad. And that's what I learned in college. I remember being so against it that my professor challenged me, and I wasn't allowed to use like YouTube videos or any type of stupid conspiracy theory article like InfoWars, for example. So, yeah, let's put that behind us about vaccines and my life and all that, but that's what I learned in college. Anyway, but not only was college a great experience, I then traveled to other countries around the world and realized what privileges Americans had when it came to vaccines, or medicine, or even freedoms. Now, because of what's going on lately with people against vaccines and yada yada, people think, oh yeah, if you're vaccinated, you got microchipped, and that's not true. When I got vaccinated, I had a slight headache, and I was very sleepy. That's how I felt, seriously, for those who are wondering what the side effects were. But that's just me, because I'm biologically different. Of course, if someone else took a vaccine, they might have a different side effect compared to me. And if you still are worried about vaccines, I recommend that you check with your doctor. Oh, you don't trust your American doctor? Okay, go to Denmark. Oh, the Denmark doctor says the same thing? Huh, you should probably go to Finland. Oh, Italy. Oh, Spain. Oh, and if they all say the same thing, you should probably take the vaccine. That's it. Like, seriously, if 30 doctors from 30 different countries say, hey, you're healthy enough to take a vaccine, and they did all the blood work and everything, all the tests, unless a doctor says, hey, you just survived cancer, you shouldn't take the vaccine, or you have AIDS and you're immunocompromised. So it's one of those two. So if you don't have cancer right now, I'm guessing you probably have AIDS. Just saying. But anyway, all jokes aside, like I said, if you take the vaccine or you're worried about the vaccine, talk with a doctor, go to other countries, yada yada. But anyway, if I had to explain vaccines to you, I had a friend who was a nurse and took the vaccine, and he was perfectly fine too. I mean, he was kind of feverish and had a headache, but 3 months later, he's still going strong. And the other friend who didn't take a vaccine, and he died a painful death. And if you guys saw what happened to him, maybe that will change your perspective on vaccines. But I think since it doesn't affect you personally, I think that's why you really don't care. It's kind of like telling your kids not to wear a seatbelt because you're against wearing seatbelts. My body, my choice, right? Just saying. Anyway, if I had to talk about the vaccine situation with you guys, is this. Those of you who keep on saying that the government's trying to kill you and all that, and I keep telling you go to other countries, be glad you're not in Russia or in China. I still have 200 Chinese friends I talk to there. And if you're a rich Chinese, you get the good vaccine, Moderna or Pfizer. If you're a poor Chinese, you probably got Sinovac. And Sinovac has been proven not to be effective in China. Imagine that the world knows that your vaccine doesn't work, but you're a Chinese person who can't get that information. But the biggest suspicion to me is if you're a rich Chinese or you work for the government, or basically you're the CCP, government Communist Party member, you'll always get the good vaccine in China. But if you're a middle class or a poor Chinese, you're going to take what the government could give you. In Russia, a couple of my friends in Russia can only take the Sputnik vaccine. And that's when I realized, like, wow, Americans have it pretty good. I mean, you have the freedom of information, you have all the information in your fingertips. And many other countries don't get that opportunity. And the reason why I keep telling you, if you think the government is trying to kill you, you're too easy to kill. I mean, I could just look up all the information of how to kill you on the goddamn internet. That's how easy it is. I probably might know what heart disease you have, what diseases or plants or allergies you have, everything. That's why you're too easy to kill, unless you're like some guy who lives in Honduras or Guatemala and you live in some super isolated place with some high-tech internet and the government can't track you because they think you're in one place or another, then yeah, then the government's trying to kill you. But if you're not living like that right now, be grateful. Because in China, they had no choice but to take the vaccine. Because, yeah, you're just gonna disappear. Be glad that didn't happen to you. And for you to say that, oh, America's oppressing you, no. They're not oppressing you at all. I don't think Americans understand what oppression is. And I'm not just aiming at conservatives for this one. I'm aiming at liberals too. You both don't understand what oppression is. And I recommend you travel to a country that has true oppression to understand that, like I have. So unless you travel like me and you've been to some barren landscape and you see how people get oppressed and they don't know what freedom actually is, then you should probably shut up and stop thinking the world revolves around you. Anyway, enough of the sentimental talk. I'm just saying, vaccines work, you know? Like I said, I was anti-vaccine in the past. I watched some stupid conspiracy theory videos, and I realized I was wrong. And it's good to admit you're wrong. You know, don't be egotistic. Don't think that, oh, I had all the information. I have freedom of choice. And to be honest, you have freedom of choice. You do. But don't use that freedom of choice to be ignorant. Use it to spread knowledge. Travel the world. Go to another country. Live there for a year. Don't decide not to take a vaccine because your religious differences or your religion told you to, etc., etc. Or you saw this information on the internet. No, travel the world first. Travel to at least 5 countries or more, then come back to me. And don't go to some religious group activity or some tourist plane. No, travel freely. Follow a path that's been untraveled. Then I'll know that you're honest for once. But other than that, take the vaccine. But if you don't want to, I understand. That's your own personal choice at the end of the day. But try to think of others around you who don't have the same great immunity as you have. Because imagine if you're asymptomatic and your child just survived cancer, and she probably would have survived cancer. Or to lessen the burden of hospital beds, because nurses are quitting left and right. And if you follow Reddit, you would understand. It's not just nurses who are forced to take the mandate vaccine quitting. There's also nurses who can't deal with people who think COVID is a hoax or it's nothing serious or it's a minor flu. Yeah, that's why both sides are quitting. People who are gotta take the mandate vaccine because they work in healthcare, and people who are just getting tired of the BS, and they might as well work in Denmark where people are more educated and less stupid than a lot of people in the United States because they think they're being oppressed. And for any American watching this, if you're from the USA, I dare you to travel to a country like I have where people get truly oppressed and you understand what privileges you have. Trust me, you don't want to challenge me on that. I say the only person that can really challenge me on that is a war vet that's went through hell, from Vietnam to what's going on in Afghanistan. But other than that, family, friends, that's all I want to say. Whether you take the vaccine or not, that's totally up to you. But remember, if you don't trust the United States so much, there's Singapore, there's Denmark, there's Finland, there's Italy, there's Spain, there's Taiwan, there's Japan. There's so many different countries that you can rely on. Some of them have more freedom than us, and better markets and better healthcare than us. Instead of making excuses about why you shouldn't take the vaccine or the government's out to kill you, just go to another country if you're worried about that. And if you're still making an excuse about that, then you really never cared about other people except yourself or your religious personal beliefs. Because religion is a personal belief, not a belief that others will hold as the same standard as you. Other than that, family and friends, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed the beautiful footage I captured of Japan. See you in the next video. Bye bye!